Hello and welcome back to the Average Joe podcast. I'm going to talk about ways of being proactive in dating. So let's start with how do we feel about dating apps? And I'm very 50-50 on it. I've done it and I think it's cool, but what about the opposite end of actually meeting people in person? But it's sometimes kind of hard, depending on your work schedule, sometimes the places you are, it kind of doesn't leave you room. So sometimes dating apps are really helpful because you can kind of flush things out, kind of see how somebody is on social media and things. So you could kind of wean them off, but then also too it's all a facade that people put on there too. So it is just kind of like that. But, that is an alternative to making sure you're putting yourself out there. Again, also social media, people do slide into people's DMs. We've heard plenty of stories about how that's definitely gone on to be, marriage and successful and all those things are, long-term relationships. There is the thing of, trying to meet people in person, but, you got to be at the right place at the right time. It doesn't always work itself out. Schedules sometimes don't align. Maybe you aren't in the right place. Maybe, people should set people up. If somebody it could be a good fit, doing a nice setup or, doing a blind date or being active with your friends, asking hey, if you know a guy, set us up, and let's just give it a try because you know who I am, you know who he is, if we're able to even mesh in any way, shape, or form. So you do hope the people around you are proactive in trying to help you because they will be easily, that's an easy alley hoop right there. And again, we hear so many successful relationships where that has been the case, where somebody sets them up, they went on a nice little blind date and then it worked itself out, or hey, if it didn't work itself out, hey, again, at least you were being proactive out here. Because I tell you what happened to me. My aunt, she was insistent and persistent. She was like, no, you're gonna go. I went on the date with the guy. I gave it a try because I was like, you know what? She's being proactive. I'm going to take her up on this opportunity and I'm going to go on this date with the guy. And it was a really cool date. It wasn't going to work itself out to be anything, but it was just a really good date and everything. Maybe your coworker, your work colleague, or, maybe that's your person. Maybe give that a try. I know sometimes shit where you sleep kind of thing. I know that's kind of also a fine line, but a lot of people have found love at work. So that has, been the case. Maybe going back to your old flame, maybe maybe we're together at the wrong time. Maybe we should rehash and revisit things. I know if he was just trash or you were just trash or she was just trash or whatever, I know that. But that is another way of being proactive. Hey, I already know how you are, you know how I am. Maybe, it was just the wrong timing for us. Maybe let's, retry this, this other one. Don't let somebody's ex stop you from your potential husband. Hey, just because things didn't work out with them, maybe it could work out for you. Friends and no friends, you can't, stop people, from what could possibly be. Maybe things just were never gonna work out between y'all. I don't even know why y'all date or even tried to date each other. Maybe I should give it a shot, and maybe this is, my potential husband or my potential long-term relationship. That is another way of being proactive. You should not go out being spiteful or prying on people. I'm not giving that advice. But sometimes, that is just the case. Hey, things really didn't work out with you, but we accidentally kind of don't go try to be spiteful and just sleep with him to just be like that. No, it has to actually be for you trying to be in a long-term potential relationship, you guys, okay? Maybe dating a friend, maybe you friend zoned a guy and maybe you need to let him step up to the plate there. Maybe that's what could possibly be, because that friend zone, you could be in the end zone or something. You know, maybe that's another alternative for you. You know, like don't block your blessing there. Maybe you didn't see it. Maybe try to see it now. Maybe explore that option. Give it a try and just see what could possibly come of it. Because like, you know, maybe you were blind and not seeing that. No, like he has all the things you want and you're really turning him down. And, you know, that's, you know, be proactive, girl. Go by yourself sometimes to a restaurant. Like sometimes I know like when you're in groups of people, people don't approach you. That's another way. Like go by yourself out and, you know, go put yourself in the right places. Like Google restaurants or places that like, you know, single guys or that, you know, your type of guys would be. And like, you know, be proactive in that sense. Like go by yourself. Like don't bring, like you don't need you don't need an entourage or ambiance of people around. No, you got yourself. That should be the company, you know, that's all you should be, you need. Also too, sometimes like, you know, approach a guy. Be proactive enough to approach a guy. Step to him and be like, hey, you know, like, how are you doing? Da, da, da. Like, be proactive. Like, you know, sometimes guys are a little bit intimidated, a little shy. You know, sometimes you gotta nudge him on and then like let him like kind of lead the way from there. Attend like speed dating or social events and things like that. Make sure you're putting yourself out there, you know, in the right places, not just all out there willy-nilly, but make sure you're putting yourself in the right places and, you know, the right social scenes and the right environments. Maybe try a little speed dating. That is like, you know, I really kind of want to bring that back because like that is like, you know, like, give me a minute or two, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to kind of like flush this out and even see like if this could, you know, possibly work. But, you know, let me know, like, go out there, maybe try the tips. Have you tried these things? Did they work? Did they not work? You know, like, comment, subscribe below. Let me know. Am I crazy, girl? Ain't nobody going to nobody ask her, like, ain't nobody approaching nobody. I'm not going to the restaurant by myself. Maybe I'm wrong. Or I'm not getting set up on a blind date. Hey, you guys, maybe I'm wrong out here. You know, let me know what you think.